Do you physically flinch when you hear Outlook notification sounds? Does walking past your old office building make your heart race? Do you have nightmares about your last day at work, even months later?
If you're experiencing this, you're not being dramatic or overly sensitive. You're experiencing job loss trauma, and trauma is a very different beast from stress or sadness.
In the next few minutes, I'm explaining what job loss trauma really is, why it happens, and how to recognize if you're dealing with it. This goes way beyond money. Let's dive in. Research shows that sudden job loss can create symptoms identical to PTSD. We're not talking about ordinary stress here. We're talking about your nervous system perceiving a genuine threat to survival.
Today, we're covering what trauma actually is, types of job loss trauma, physical symptoms in your body, triggers and flashbacks, why healing trauma is different.
First, let's define trauma. Trauma isn't what happened to you. It's what happens inside you as a result. It's when an experience overwhelms your nervous system's ability to cope, and your body gets stuck in survival mode.
Stress has an off switch. You feel stressed, then you calm down. Trauma is when the off switch breaks. Your body stays in threat mode even when the danger is gone.
This is why you can't just think positive your way out of job loss trauma. This isn't happening in your thoughts. It's happening in your nervous system.
First, understand there are different types of job loss trauma. Not all job losses are traumatic, but some absolutely are.
Sudden termination trauma. You show up to work, get called into a room, and 15 minutes later, you're walking out with a box. Your brain didn't see it coming. No time to prepare. That's shock trauma. Your system floods with cortisol and adrenaline and then just stops.
Toxic workplace trauma. You endured months or years of bullying, gaslighting, impossible demands, or abuse. Even though leaving is technically good, your nervous system is damaged from chronic threat exposure. This is complex trauma. Public humiliation trauma. You were fired in front of coworkers, or walked out by security, or publicly blamed. The trauma here isn't just loss, it's shame burned into your nervous system. Your threat response links job searching with public exposure. Betrayal trauma. Someone you trusted, a mentor, boss, colleague, blindsided you, lied, or threw you under the bus. This creates relational trauma. Now your nervous system is hypervigilant around trusting people at work. Identity destruction trauma. Your job wasn't just income, it was your entire sense of self. Losing it felt like dying. This is existential trauma. Your nervous system is grieving the death of who you were. You might have one type or multiple. There's no hierarchy here. All trauma is valid. What matters is recognizing what your nervous system experienced.
Second, understand that trauma lives in your body, not just your mind. Your body literally keeps the score.
Hypervigilance. You're constantly scanning for danger. Every email makes you jump. Every meeting request triggers panic. You can't relax because your nervous system thinks the threat could return any second.
Flashbacks. You're suddenly back in that meeting room or that conversation. It's not a memory. Your body thinks it's happening now. Time collapses. You smell the conference room. You feel the chair.
Somatic symptoms. Unexplained stomach aches before job searching, tension headaches when updating your resume, your jaw clenches unconsciously, your shoulders live by your ears. This is trauma trapped in tissue. Sleep disruption. You either can't fall asleep because you're hypervigilant, or you sleep 12 hours because your system is exhausted from constant threat response, or you wake at 3 a.m. with racing thoughts, unable to shut down. Emotional dysregulation. You go from fine to sobbing in seconds, or from calm to rage. Your emotions swing wildly because trauma damages your nervous system's ability to regulate. It's like driving a car with no brakes. Or the opposite, numbing. You feel nothing. You're disconnected from your body. This is dissociation, and it's your nervous system's circuit breaker when things are too much.
If you have 3 or more of these symptoms lasting weeks, you're not overreacting. You're experiencing trauma. Your body is doing exactly what bodies do after overwhelming experiences. Third, understand triggers. A trigger isn't something that upsets you. It's something that makes your body think the trauma is happening again right now. Common triggers: LinkedIn notifications, job application portals, conference rooms, the word feedback, your old company's logo, certain management phrases. Your body learned these meant danger, and now it reacts before your brain can think. When triggered, you might freeze, fight, flight, or fawn. Freeze, you can't move or speak. Fight, instant anger. Flight, overwhelming urge to escape. Fawn, people-pleasing to avoid perceived danger. All automatic. This is why interviews can be so hard after job loss trauma. You're trying to perform while your nervous system is screaming danger. The interview room resembles the termination room. Authority figures trigger your threat response.
Re-traumatization happens when you push through triggers without processing. You force yourself to apply to jobs while flooded with cortisol. Each application becomes another trauma layer because you're operating from survival mode. You have a window of tolerance, the zone where you can function. Trauma shrinks that window. What used to be manageable now overwhelms you. That's why simple tasks feel impossible.
The goal isn't to never feel triggered. It's to recognize when you're triggered, pause, help your nervous system calm, then take action. Trauma healing is about building capacity, not powering through.
Fourth, let's address the title. It's not just about money. Yes, financial stress is real, but if this were only about money, everyone without savings would be traumatized, and everyone with savings would be fine. That's not what we see. Trauma is about safety, not resources. You can have 6 months of savings and still be traumatized because your nervous system codes job loss as, I was cast out, I'm not safe in the world.
Job loss trauma often activates old attachment wounds. If you were abandoned as a child, job loss feels like abandonment. If you were criticized, being fired confirms, I'm not good enough. The trauma is the old wound reopening.
Humans need belonging more than money. Job loss threatens belonging. Your work tribe expelled you. Your professional identity, your belonging card, got revoked. That's a survival threat to a social species. Trauma also comes from loss of control and predictability. You thought you knew how your life would go. Suddenly, you don't. Your brain's prediction machine broke, and unpredictability is deeply threatening to nervous systems. And perhaps deepest, trauma around meaning. If work gave you purpose, losing it creates existential vacuum. Your nervous system is responding to, my reason for existing disappeared. That's not about money. That's about meaning.
This is why getting another job doesn't automatically heal the trauma. The new job might bring money, but it doesn't restore safety, belonging, meaning, or repair the nervous system damage.
What you actually need isn't just income. You need nervous system regulation, safety restoration, belonging repair, and meaning reconstruction. These are trauma healing tasks, not financial tasks.
Take a breath. This is heavy stuff. If you're recognizing yourself in this, that's hard. And it's also the first step. Naming trauma doesn't make it worse. It actually starts the healing process. Your nervous system can finally stop screaming something is wrong because you're saying, yes, I know. I see you. Trauma healing is different from grief work or understanding psychology. Trauma is in your nervous system, so healing has to happen there too. You can't think your way out of trauma.
Step 1 is always regulation. Before processing, before job searching, before anything, you need to help your nervous system find safety. Breathing exercises, grounding, movement, safe social connection.
Trauma often needs professional support. EMDR, somatic therapy, trauma-focused CBT, these are designed for nervous system healing. This isn't weakness. Trauma literally changes your brain. You need targeted intervention.
And know this, trauma healing takes time. months, sometimes years. That's not failure. That's neurobiology. You're rewiring pathways. Give yourself that time.
Can I share something personal for a second?
I didn't realize I had job loss trauma for 6 months. I just thought I was stressed or having a hard time. When someone finally said the word trauma, I felt relief and terror. Relief because it had a name. Terror because trauma sounded serious and unfixable.
What I learned, trauma isn't a life sentence. It's a starting point. Once I named it, I could heal it. Before that, I was just confused why I couldn't get over it.
If you just realized this is trauma, not weakness, welcome to the beginning of your healing journey. It gets better from here.
Let's recap what job loss trauma is.
1. Trauma is when your nervous system gets stuck in threat mode. It's not just stress. 2. Different types: sudden termination, toxic workplace, betrayal, public humiliation, identity destruction.
3. Physical symptoms: hypervigilance, flashbacks, sleep disruption, emotional dysregulation, somatic pain. And 4, it's not about money, it's about safety, belonging, control, meaning, and old wounds.
First step, name it as trauma. Second step, prioritize nervous system regulation. Third step, consider trauma-informed professional help.
Remember, you're not broken. Your nervous system is doing exactly what nervous systems do after trauma, and nervous systems can heal. I know realizing this is trauma might feel overwhelming, like you just got a diagnosis you didn't want. But here's the truth. Knowing you have trauma is better than wondering why you're so messed up. Trauma has treatment. Confusion doesn't. You now have a roadmap.
6 months of trauma work can change everything. Your triggers will lose power. Your window of tolerance will expand. You'll feel safe in your body again. This isn't permanent.
One day, you'll walk past your old office and feel nothing. Or you'll hear that notification sound and just turn it off. Your nervous system will know that danger is in the past.
You survived the trauma. Now you get to heal from it. And healing is absolutely possible.
You're not alone in this trauma. Hit like if this helped you understand what's happening in your nervous system. Comment trauma if you recognized yourself here. Let's break the silence. Be gentle with your nervous system. It's been through something real. This is Mindstick, reminding you trauma isn't your fault, and healing is your birthright. See you next time.